Welcome back to Fortic in 5 minutes, where we break down everything you need to know in under 5 minutes. Today we're talking about the Imperial Knights, the massive, honor-bound warriors of the Imperium. Let's dive straight in. First up, every Imperial Knight follows a strict code chivalric. At the start of the game, you pick an oath for your army, which gives you a special ability and a deed to complete. If you complete the deed, you become honored and gain 3 CP, but you can only earn CP this way once per battle. The first oath you can take is Lalo the Tyrant, where you get to reroll 1 hit and 1 wound roll per unit per phase, but need to kill the enemy's warlord. The second is Reclaim the Realm, where you get 1 to your move, advance, and charge rolls, and with this one you become honored if you control your opponent's home objective. That being said, the ability to reroll both a hit and a wound is so big that almost nobody will take Reclaim the Realm. Often being a knight is about looking after the little guy, so knights have bondsman abilities. This means big Questorist knights can support nearby armiger models, giving them extra buffs in your command phase. It's a solid way to make sure your smaller knights punch above their weight. The final part of the army rules relate to how big these knights are. The super heavy walker rule, this makes them super mobile, able to move through terrain less than 4 inches tall and even move through enemy models. But if they go through taller terrain, it could risk battle shock. Moving on to the noble lance detachment, or your Imperial Knights Getty. Feel no pain 6+, which goes up to 5+ if your army is honored. That makes them tough to shift off the board. First, Revered Knight Aura. This one's all about leadership buffs. The Revered Knight improves the leadership of nearby Imperial Knights models by 1, making it harder for your knights to be battle shocked or fail morale checks. If your army is honored, the aura extends to 12, instead of the usual 6, allowing even more of your knights to benefit. Next up, Mysterious Guardian. This is my favorite. The Mysterious Guardian gives your knight the deep strike ability, allowing it to pop in from reserves anywhere that's more than 9 inches away from enemy models. Plus, once per battle, it can disappear at the end of your opponent's turn and return to the battlefield in your movement phase. Going back to those bondsman abilities I talked about earlier, the next enhancement Mythic Hero lets you use a bondsman ability on 1 extra armiger model within 12, or even if it's already benefiting from me. Bondsman ability, it makes your armigers a lot more dangerous when combined with the support from your bigger knights. The fourth enhancement, Banner of Macharius Triumphant, gives the holder sticky objectives, allowing you to hold onto an objective even if you don't have models nearby. As long as your knight is within range of the objective at the start of your command phase, the objective remains under your control, even if you lose the models holding it. Finally, last but not least, Unyielding Paragon is all about making your knight tougher. Every time your Questorist knight takes a hit, it worsens the armor penetration of that attack by 1. This makes your knight far harder to damage from high AP weapons. Next, let's look at the Noble Lance strats, key tactics that will help you swing the game in your favor. Shoulder the Burden is a buffing strat that makes your Imperial Knights even tougher and hit harder. If one of your knights has taken damage, use Shoulder the Burden in your command phase to increase that model's move toughness, save leadership, and objective control by 1. On top of that, add 1 to hit rolls for all its attacks for the rest of the turn. Next up, rotate Iron Shields. This increases your model's invulnerable save against ranged attacks to 4+ until the end of the phase. This makes your knights much harder to hit with high damage ranged weapons. Next, Thunderstomp is a melee strat that gives your knights weapons the devastating wounds ability, meaning any 6 to wound will cause mortal wounds on top of normal damage. It's perfect for smashing through monsters or vehicles. The next strat focuses on the little knights working together. Squire's Duty lets you improve the strength in AP of your armiger model's attacks if 2 or more models target the same unit. If your army is honored, you also get 1 to the damage characteristic. This is a great way to turn your smaller knights into deadly support units. Trophy Claim is a single target strat that buffs your knight's attack against an enemy monster or vehicle until the end of the phase. Add 1 to the wound roll for all attacks against that model. It costs 2 CP, but if you destroy it, you get 1 CP back. The final strat is Valiant Last Stand. This lets a knight that was destroyed fight 1 last time before it dies. It's a great way to take out a few more enemies in a final heroic effort. If your army is honored, it can fight with full wounds instead of just 1. Imperial Knights are all about resilience, honor, and overwhelming firepower. With their noble lance, stratagems, and enhancements, these giant warriors can stomp across the battlefield, smash through enemy lines, and hold objectives with the might of the Imperium. Whether you're giving your smaller knights a boost with Squire's Duty or letting your Titanic Knight make a Valiant Last Stand, these abilities will help you crush the enemy while staying true to your knightly code. That's it for today's rundown for Imperial Knights and the Noble Lance Detachment. Want to learn more about other factions or get more stratagem breakdowns? Like, subscribe and hit the bell for more Warhammer tips right here on 40k in 5 minutes. Until next time, keep your knights riding high in the name of the Emperor.